right. Good morning. Welcome. All right. Let's get started. So we'll be on our backs. So we're going to get right into it. So let's bring bottoms of the feet together. Knees can fall open a little bit wider. If you need a little help rolling onto the back, you can. Grab onto those knees and then lower those feet down. Closing down those eyes. We will take a breath or two. Just coming to this space. Just letting everything else go. Taking a big breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Big breath in through the nose and out. Just continuing that breath to that full capacity of those lungs. And now take the big breath in. And then on that exhale, press that low back flat into the mat, especially if it's not already there. If it is there, think of just pressing harder into the mat and then feeling that bracing, that tightness, more so that activation all throughout that core. You know, pulling that breath and keeping that core tight. Then exhale it out. Okay, so that core is going to stay engaged this whole time. So that breath is going to be a little bit more active. You hear the breath a little bit more. Let's bring those knees together. Okay, pull those knees so they're stacked right over those hips. Shins are parallel to the ground. We're going to reach those arms up. So the arms are just going to stay here at first, and then we'll add them in later. Okay, so we'll extend that left leg out, lowering that heel down as close to the ground as you can get it, keeping that back flat. So a lot of times that heel lowers down, that low back starts to lift. Keep it glued down. Inhale, bring that knee back up, and then exhale to the other side. Okay, press the low back flat, that spine into the mat. Inhale, bring it back up, and then over to that left side, back to center, to the right, back to center. One more time, just the leg. So left leg and center, right leg and center. Now we'll add in those arms. So we're going to extend that left leg down. Right arm is going to reach over our head. So my thumb is going down towards the ground. Maybe the thumb even touches. We really want to reach out through that arm, nice and straight through that right arm, through both arms actually. Okay, low back stays flat. Pause here, another breath. And bring it back up. Switching sides. We'll extend that right leg out. The left arm's going to reach up over our head, pressing that low back flat into the mat. And then we'll bring it back to center. Again, switch. Left leg, right arm. Bring it back to center. Now right leg, left arm. Back to center. Let's go one more time each way. And center. And switch. And center. Hug those knees and hopefully you start to feel that through the core a little bit. Now we're going to round that spine, bring that forehead to the knees. We're going to go both legs, both arms now, okay? So we can extend those legs out, arms reach up overhead. Now maybe those legs are up a little bit higher. We want to keep, again, that low back flat. So if we lower all the way down and you feel that low back start to lift, okay? Just lift the legs up a little bit higher. Good. Breathe here, hold. Low back presses down. Head can stay down. Just keep those arms lifted. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plant those feet down. Arms come down by your side. So knees are bent. We're going to lift those hips up into that bridge. That tailbone is going to scoop up. Really squeezing your glutes here. Scooping that tailbone up. And a couple more breaths. And 3, 2, and 1. Roll it on down. And hug those knees in around that spine. We're going to extend those legs out, reach those arms up overhead, that hollow position. This time, if you want to lift those shoulders off the ground, you can. Sometimes it makes it a little bit easier to get that low back flat. So up to you. Let's go 5, 4, but that doesn't mean it makes the core work any easier. 3, 2, and 1. Plant those feet down, arms by your side, rolling those hips up. And rolling it back down. Last time, hug the knees into the chest. Let's round that spine, curl knees to the forehead. And then we'll extend it back up, trying to keep the arms, shoulders, legs lifted. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the feet down, lower the arms down, and lift those hips up. Let's hold for a couple more breaths here. And slowly roll it on down. Tailbone will be the last thing that lowers. And now hug those knees in. We're going to get a little bit of momentum here. We're going to rock forward and back. We're going to try to plant those feet down and come into our forward fold. Okay, so maybe come into that squat first and then straighten those legs on out. Just let the torso sway from side to side. If those hamstrings are really tight and the ground seems a little further away this morning, you can go ahead and bring those hands up to those shins. Just easing into a few stretches this morning. Now let's lengthen out that spine. Pull those shoulders down and back, lifting through the chest. This low back right here, this lumbar spine is nice and flat. One more breath. And slide those hands down as we fold. Just let that head hang super heavy. Maybe shake the head yes, shake the head no, releasing any tension you might be holding on to in that neck. Then now bend into those knees. Then rise on up to standing, reaching those arms overhead. Let's interlace those fingers behind the head. And we can keep those arms, those elbows wide. We're going to find that side bend over to the right side. Inhale, bring it up. Side bend over to that left side. Inhale, bring it back up. Pull those elbows together and then press that head back into the hands. We're not really arching through the low back. We're trying to open up through our thoracic spine. So that space kind of in between the shoulder blades. We'll reach those arms up and then exhale, fold. Find that flat back on that inhale, bending into that right knee, twisting left arm reaches up. Lower that hand down as we fold. Again, re-lengthen out, bending into that left knee, right arm reaches up. Lower the hands down as we fold. So we'll plant those hands, step it back to our plank. Shifting that weight forward, lower those knees down. If you need to, we're going to add in that push-up. So lower, shoulders high to the elbows. Press it back up. Let's do it 2 more times with those arms nice and warmed up. Lower down. Press it back up. Last time, lower. And press back up. And now we'll go all the way down onto our stomachs. Point the toes. Roll the shoulders down and back. Lift that chest up. Lift those hands up. Soften it down. Again, roll the shoulders down and back. And lift those hands. I think we're trying to pull those elbows back. I know we don't have our hands on the ground, but we're squeezing the bottom points of the shoulder blades down. So we're activating, this is a lot, but those lower lats and traps. Lift a little bit higher, squeeze the elbows back a little more. Soften it down. Now, hands can stay on the ground. We're gonna roll the shoulders down and back. Okay, that same idea, pulling the hands back, pulling those elbows back. Maybe even slide those legs forward a little bit more. And then we lift up into that upward facing dog. Now, if you press into those feet a little bit more, get those legs lifted off the ground, great. And then we'll exhale, send those hips up and back, downward facing dog. So press that tailbone up, press those heels down, bend those knees as much as you need to, and then flex those quads. So it's going to be, again, these muscles, front part of the leg. And then we'll inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet, top of the mat. Sliding those hands up the shins, flatten out that back. Exhale, slide those hands down as we fold. Slight bend into those knees. Go ahead and rise up to standing. Reach up nice and tall. Interlacing those fingers behind the head. Elbows will stay wide to start. Side bend to the right. Inhale it back up. Side bend to the left. Inhale, bring it back up. Hold those elbows together. And then lift those elbows up, core tight, pressing the head back into the hands. And then we'll release those arms up and fold. Flat back on that inhale, bend into that right knee. Left arm reaches up. And down. Other side. Bend into that left knee. Right arm reaches up. And lower the hands down as we float. Flat back on that inhale. And then we'll plant those hands. Step those feet back to our plank. We have 3 push-ups. So again, on your knees, on your toes. Maybe you try to do the first one on your toes. So down, pause. Press back up that strong plank. Okay, maybe you got 1. Maybe you pop down to those knees for the last 2. Up to you. Okay, lower. Press back up. Last one down. Press back up. And then we'll lower down to our stomachs. Point the toes. Roll the shoulders down and back. Lift those hands up. Pull those elbows back. Soften it down. Roll the shoulders down and back. Lift. Squeeze those elbows back. And down. Now hands can stay down. Roll the shoulders down and back. Keep pulling those hands back so that chest is pulling forward. You might actually even pull your whole body forward a little bit. So we want length through the spine, through the neck. Shoulders are down. And then curl those toes. Hips up and back, down dog. Let's do that one more time. So we can find that stillness of the legs. First thing, tailbone up, heels press down, flex those quads. Then come onto the toes. Bend those knees, step those feet, top of the mat. Half lift on that inhale. Exhale, fold. Rise up to standing. Reach it up tall. Interlace those fingers behind the head. Elbows wide. Side bend to the right. Inhale it up. And side bend to the left. Inhale, reach it up. Elbows together. Looking up. Then we'll extend those arms up. Exhale, fold. Flat back on the inhale. Bend into that right knee. Left arm reaches up. And down to the other side. Reach that right arm up. And down. Plant the hands. Step those feet back to our plank. 3 push-ups. Lower. And up. Down. Back up. Last one. Down. Press it back up. And then we'll lower to our stomach. Lift that chest up. Okay, maybe we lift up. Try and lift up a little bit higher. Then lift those hands up. A lot of back. Good. Squeeze those shoulders back. And down. One more time. Lift the chest, the hands. Down. Now hands can lower down. Think gripping those palms into the ground, pulling back. So that chest is going to kind of scoot forward and up as we lift. And then sending those hips up and back. Downward facing dog. From here, let's bring those toes out, heels in, sink those hips down. I think some of you guys know where this is going. We're gonna hop those feet, try and get those hips high. So we hop the feet, nice soft landing into our squat. Okay, so the hands can stay down on the ground. We're gonna do a few more of those little hops. Do a little sway from side to side, get those hips a little loosened up. And then plant those hands down. The hips will come up, kind of load in that position, and then we'll go down, hop the feet back into that frog position. So my toes are out, heels are in. Absorb through that landing with the knees, okay? You can straighten the legs out, give them a little bit of a break, but we're gonna keep those toes out. And then again, we'll squat down, hop, nice soft landing into that squat. Maybe those hips drop down a little bit lower. And then we'll plant the hands. We'll hop it back to our frog. Straighten those legs out, give it a little break. If you need to come into a down dog really quick, you can. And then last one. Toes out, heels in, squat, and hop. Good. Now, from here into that squat. We're going to bring those hands to heart center. Really actively pull those knees apart. Drop those hips maybe a little bit lower. So don't collapse down into that lowest position you can be in. You need to come up 2 inches from that lowest position. Flatten out that back. Really strong into the squat. Let's go for 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, straighten those legs out. Give them a little break. You might be burning a little bit. Maybe pedal those feet out here and those legs out in standing. Inhale, find that flat back. The hands can come up to the shins if they need to. Plant those hands back down. Let's step or hop those feet back. If we hop, we want that really quiet landing. Lower down. 1 push-up, pause and low plank. Press it back up. Again, lower down. Inhale, lift that chest up. Up dog. Or again, if you want to stay lower in that cobra, that's fine too. Exhaling hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Bring the feet together. Inhale, that right leg lifts. Bring that right knee to that right elbow. Inhale, send it up. Exhale, that knee across. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, curl that knee to the nose. Step that foot through. Try to go a little bit lighter landing with that foot. And then back heel lowers down. Inhale, reaching those arms. Finding that balance. Then reaching those arms up. Or tight. Draw those elbows. Or draw your shoulders down. So that same idea, we're trying to pull those shoulder blades down. Bend into that front knee a little more. Let's pull the elbows down. Interlace those fingers. Open up through that chest. Pause it here. Nice stretch to the front of the shoulders. And then bend into that front knee a little bit more as we fold. So notice that right hip is swayed out to the side. Pull that leg back. So we're flexing through that right glute a little bit more. And then we can release those hands up. Warrior 1. Now we're going to come into that half split. So reaching, my balance is not great today. Reaching the hands forward, lowering that hand down, lifting that left leg up. So we're going to start on the fingertips, flatten out that back, rotate that left outer hip down, and then start to fold, walking the hands back a little bit more. So if you really want to challenge that balance, maybe one hand reaches for that ankle, and maybe the other hand grabs onto that ankle, finding that still spot on your mat. And then plant those hands down. Step the left foot and then right foot back. Lower down. Inhale, lift that chest. Exhale, hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. To the other side. Inhale, that left leg lifts. Exhale, curl that knee to the left elbow. Inhale, send it back up. Exhale, bring that knee across. Inhale, reach it up. And then curl that knee to the nose, stepping that foot through. Back heel grounds down. Knee in 2. Warrior 1 stance. Inhaling those arms up. Pull those elbows down. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Open up through that chest. And then start to reach it forward as we fold. So again, left hip is swaying out to the side. Pull it back towards that midline of the mat. Strong through those legs. Let's release those arms. Rise back up. Now, we're going to reach those arms forward. Lower the hands down, lifting that right leg up. So flatten out that back. So come onto those fingertips. Okay. Rotate that right outer hip down. So the toes, even that pinky toe is pointing down towards the ground. And then take another breath. Inhale. And then exhale, we'll fold. Try and lift that leg a little bit higher. Try and bring that belly a little bit closer to that side. Okay, now for our balance here. Maybe we bring the left hand back. And the right hand back. Another breath. And then hands down, right leg back, left leg back, vinyasa. And exhaling, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Now, again, so one more time, toes out, heels in, sink those hips down, hop it forward into that squat. Hands will come to heart center, sink those hips down, chest is lifted. So again, not collapse down to the lowest spot you could be in, but maybe come just like an inch higher this time and hold. It's really active through those legs. We'll go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we can roll it onto our backs. Okay. Last time in that hollow position. So extend those legs out. Let's really fire up that core for these last few minutes of class. So hold. So good. Shoulders are lifting. The legs are lifting. Now let's add some little flutter kicks to it. Just real small. Legs are straight. They can be up here too, but that's a little bit more accessible. Let's go 4, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug those knees in. Big breath in. And side out. Let's do that. One more time. Okay, let's start rounding that spine. Forehead to the knees. Then extend those legs out. This time, we're going to go, let's go wide and crisscross. Okay, here we go. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's plant those feet down, arms by your side. Roll those hips up, setting up through those hip flexors and the quads here. And slowly roll it on down. Right ankle crosses over that left knee, hugging that knee and grabbing onto that hamstring, or maybe that shin if those hips are feeling a little bit more mobile. Let's lower that foot down. We'll switch sides, crossing that left ankle over that right knee. And go ahead and release that foot down. Plant those feet, knees or feet about hip distance apart. So you have those arms, just end it with a few little windshield wipers at those knees from side to side. And back to center once you've evened out the sides. Roll up into that seat. Eyes closed, sitting nice and tall. Let's pause it for a couple breaths. So again, these don't have to be quite as forceful. These can be a little bit more natural, but you still want to use that full capacity of the lungs. Slow down that exhale. Let's leave those eyes open. Thank you all so much for joining me. Have a great day. And then for yoga, I'll see you guys back here on Saturday. All right, we're almost there. It's almost Saturday, guys. It's almost Friday. All right. Have a good one.